All right, so to do this combo, you're gonna want to have Rionya Fire Dancer, one instant or sorcery for your storm count on the winning turn and the setup turn. You want to have a treasure or some kind of artifact on your setup turn, and then you want to have 3 red mana and 2 colorless on your setup turn, and 1 red mana and 2 colorless on your setup turn. So how it works is you have Rionya on the battlefield. You're gonna use 1 red and 1 of the colorless right here. So take this down to 1 on your setup turn. Take this down to 2. And then you'll cast Goblin Engineer. With Goblin Engineer, you're going to put a Pyre of Heroes into the graveyard. Okay? Then you're going to want to increase your Rionya Storm count, quote unquote. And then you're going to want to cast that 1 instant or sorcery. Go to combat, and Rionya will trigger, and you're going to want to make 2 copies of Goblin Engineer. So there's your 2 copies. When you make those 2 copies, you're going to want to tutor up a Cursed Mirror and Brea's Apprentice into your graveyard. So now you have Pyre of Heroes, Cursed Mirror, and Brea's Apprentice in the graveyard. Still before attackers, or whenever you want to do this, before you leave this turn, you want to use 1 of the reds you have remaining down to 1, and then sacrifice that 1 artifact you had to activate 1 of the copies. And you're going to put Brea's Apprentice onto the battlefield. Once Brea's Apprentice is on the battlefield, it's going to trigger the ETB and then give you a Thopter. Then you're going to use this other red mana to activate this other Goblin Engineer, and you're going to sacrifice the Thopter you just created to put the Pyre of Heroes you originally tutored, put that onto the battlefield. Once you have the Pyre of Heroes onto the battlefield, you can do whatever you want in your combat phase, but you want to go to your second main phase, and then you're going to use the 2 colorless here. Yeah, you had 2 colorless here, so you actually needed 3 colors a lot. So you want to use that last 2 colorless there, and then you're going to activate Pyre of Heroes, and then you're going to sacrifice the Brea's Apprentice to Pyre of Heroes to put Caves of Chaos Adventurers or any 4-drop human onto the battlefield. This one just triggers and makes you take the initiative, and you're going to go find a mountain. Go to your next turn. These tokens will get exiled, and then this can either be through just naturally going to your next turn, or if your 1 instant or sorcery you cast was one of your extra turn spells, Final Fortune, Words Over Last Chance, you're going to go to that final turn, and then you'll draw for turn. And then what you want to do at the beginning during your first main phase, you're going to use the 2 colorless mana you have to activate Pyre of Heroes, and you're going to sack your 4-drop human. For me, it's Caves of Chaos. And then you'll put a 5-drop onto the battlefield, which will be Lightning Runner. Then you'll use your 1 red mana to sacrifice Pyre of Heroes, activate Engineer, and then you're going to put Cursed Mirror onto the battlefield. You're going to have Cursed Mirror in the battlefield as Lightning Runner. That means you have 2 copies of Lightning Runner, and you're going to use any extra mana you have or whatever not to cast the 1 instant or sorcery to make your storm count 1, quote unquote. And so now when you go to combat, Rionya will trigger, target your Lightning Runner or your Cursed Mirror. You'll make 2 copies. And so when you go to attacks, you'll be able to attack with 4 Lightning Runners. And you'll go infinite with Rionya. So fun combo with Rionya. The only thing I messed up when I told you all is you want to have 3 colorless on your setup turn. So 2 to activate Pyre and 1 to help cast your Goblin Engineer. And also you want to make sure all the mana values you saw here from your red mana need, the colorless mana, the artifact count you need for each turn, and your storm count for Rionya. You need to have all those resources plus the 2 instants for each turn, plus the mana to cast the instant sorcery. But you'll be able to end the cycle with going infinite across 2 turns. And like I already said, these extra turn spells help you get across the finish line across 1 turn. So let's get it.